The movie begins with a girl named Paget, who wakes up, immediately does her makeup, and then goes on her social media platform to talk to her 1.1 million followers. She's an influencer and begins answering queries and providing beauty advice to her fans. After answering a few questions, she closes her stream, takes off her gown and dresses up to go to college. As soon as she steps outside of her room, the surrounding completely changes. Her room is covered with expensive and girly items from a sofa to a pink table. Everything is covered in pink, but her house looks very ordinary. She chats briefly with her mom, who tells her about the different patients that came during her night shift. Paget then excitedly opens her mail and discovers a $3,000 check from a brand she endorses. Although the mom is happy on seeing the check, she advises Paget to save some money for her college funds, and that she has been spending a lot of money on her shoes. Paget immediately assures her that she has that settled, and the shoes she's wearing are free and paid for by the brand that is sponsoring her. We then witness how her influence, her career, and brand endorsements bring her so much money to keep up appearances. It is almost as if she's living two separate lives. One life is her true life, and the other is for her followers on social media. Just before Paget starts her live stream again, she rushes in front of a studio apartment building, having her friends pick her up later. This portrays the image that she has a very lavish life to her followers. Her best friends Alden and Quinn come in a convertible, and they all head to surprise Paget's boyfriend Jordan, who is shooting a music video. The scene shifts to two siblings, Bryn and Cameron, riding in a pickup on their way to school. Cameron is a strange and unpopular student that no one knows anything about. Even his sister Bryn is embarrassed to be seen with him in school, so she mostly avoids him. His only friend is a girl named Nisha, who is also a misfit like him, and because of this they get along well each other. Bryn is a great admirer of Jordan's music, so Cameron makes fun of her by calling the music lame and unreal. The scene shifts back to Paget, who arrives at Jordan's shooting location. She's even baked a cake for him, and before entering Jordan's trailer, she asks Alden to stream the event on TikTok so that her followers can see it. But this was a big mistake, because when she walks in, she is shocked to see him kissing one of the backup dancers. The girl immediately apologizes to Paget and shakes her hand, stating that she follows her on social media and is a big fan of her makeup tips and guides. Paget becomes enraged and starts throwing cake, having a major meltdown in front of her millions of fans watching on her livestream. She yells at him that they're done, and Alden grabs her attention, pointing out that she is still on air. Horrified, Paget looks at the phone, revealing her tear-stained face, smudged mascara, and runny nose. She then forcefully snatches the phone from Alden's hands and ends the stream. The following day, Paget feels distressed and doesn't want to leave her room. Her mother then arrives and informs her that breakups are complicated, but things will get better. Paget responds that it's not just the breakup, but also being humiliated in front of all of her fans on social media. Just then, Quinn calls to check on her. Paget claims she's okay and is relieved that Jordan was exposed, and that everyone now hates him. However, Quinn urges her to log into TikTok immediately to see what's going on. Paget then goes online and finds that she is becoming viral, but for all the wrong reasons. Due to the incident that happened yesterday, a big snot bubble was coming out of her nose when she was crying. Now she's known as Bubble Girl. The viral video has turned her into a meme subject, robbing her of her perfect girl image. She then receives a phone call from Jessica, the CEO of the beauty product company that sponsors Paget. Jessica breaks the news that they're ending the contract with her because of the embarrassing situation, and tells her that they can work again in the future when things settle down. Meanwhile at school, Quinn and Alden are discussing the incident, with Alden claiming that Paget had it coming. Quinn is surprised, and asks if she means Paget deserved what happened. Alden clarifies that she didn't mean that, but with her high GPA, attractive boyfriend and corporate sponsor, something eventually had to go wrong. When Paget arrives at school, everyone continues to mock her, while Jordan gains more attention and fans. Paget and her friends remember the time when Jordan was an overweight weird guy with bad hair. Paget claims that makeovers are her specialty, and that she transformed Jordan into the man he is today. Then suddenly an idea strikes their minds, and her friends ask why she doesn't create another Jordan. Just then, there is an announcement about the upcoming Prom King and Queen contest. Paget gets the idea of giving a makeover to an unpopular guy and making him Prom King. It will both prove to her that she still has talent, and will also annoy Jordan, kind of like a bittersweet revenge. Alden bets her that she won't be able to pull it off, but Paget is determined to accomplish her goal, and the three of them go out and find the perfect guy for this project. Later, they come across Cameron, a guy who no one from their college knows, who is photographing a garbage bin and claiming that he finds it deep. Quinn searches him online and only gets a single tweet from 2 years ago that says, "No. He is strange, egotistical, and antisocial, and he's bullied by Jordan. The only friend he has is also a girl who nobody knows." This makes him the ideal candidate for their bet. The following day, Paget approaches Cameron and requests his help in photographing a fundraising event. However, he refuses to help her once she mentions the donation is for the prom event, which Cameron considers a waste of time and money. Bryn then apologizes for his brother's behavior and says that he despises all students. During their talk, Paget discovers that Cameron volunteers at a horse stable during his free time. So the next day, she shows up at the stable and asks him for horseback riding lessons. She then helps him in cleaning the stable, after which he teaches her how to ride a horse. He then notices that she shoots pictures every minute and makes fun of her. Later, when Paget tries to dismount, the two fall to the ground and laugh together. Although Cameron was quite hesitant at first, now it looks like he is liking Paget's presence, and he begins to open up to her. The next day at school, Paget thanks Cameron for the riding lesson. She then invites both Cameron and Nisha to a karaoke party. Cameron is initially reluctant, but Nisha's curiosity about the event convinces him to give it a shot. At the party, both Cameron and Nisha feel like they don't quite fit in. Paget then takes her turn at karaoke and sings beautifully, but then Jordan shows up at the party with the girl he cheated with. This causes Paget to freeze, and she becomes extremely anxious to perform. Cameron, who has been admiring Paget's singing, rushes in to help her avoid more embarrassment. The two then put on a fantastic performance, to which everyone applauds. Later, Cameron offers to give Paget a ride home on his truck. She then intentionally leaves her purse behind, as an excuse to visit him again. The next morning, Bryn bombards Cameron with questions about him and Paget, causing him to feel nervous. Meanwhile, Paget receives a call from Jessica, revealing that her duet video with Cameron has gone viral. Jessica then asks about the guy in the video. Paget replies that he's her next makeover project, aiming to make him even more popular than Jordan. Impressed, Jessica informs her that if she succeeds, the brand endorsement will be hers. At Cameron's house, Bryn shows him the viral duet video, causing him to flush with embarrassment. Just then, Paget calls Bryn and mentions she left something in Cameron's car. Cameron tries to get Bryn to say no, but Bryn invites her over. Paget arrives and asks Cameron if they can go for another riding lesson, to which he reluctantly agrees. During the riding lesson, Paget and Cameron start to connect on a deeper level. She tells him that she was looking forward to graduating from high school like him, but now that she has lost her sponsorship, she's unsure what to do with herself. Cameron admits that it sucks, and shares his desire to travel the world and just take pictures. He also teases her for constantly capturing pictures of herself for her fans. He then offers to show her what he does, and they arrive at an old but functional train station. Cameron does street photography there, and Paget has never been to a place like this before, but she is fascinated. Later, as they're having coffee, Paget asks him why he resides with his grandma. He then informs her that his father preferred to live in Sweden after his mother passed away in a car accident. He shares that the camera he uses was once his mother's. Hearing this, Paget also opens up, talking about her parents' divorce and how hard her mother works as a nurse to provide for her. Later, she invites him to Alden's birthday party, which is going to be Great Gatsby themed. Cameron accepts the invitation, asking if he can bring a few friends along. In the next scene, Paget, Cameron, Nisha, and Bryn go shopping for the party's outfits. Then, Paget gives Cameron a makeover and dramatically alters him. She cuts his hair and dresses him in a suit, and now it's very obvious that Paget fancies him. They then all go to Alden's party, where everyone is taken aback by Cameron's new appearance. Jordan is also attending the party, and it turns out that he's been dumped by his girlfriend. When he runs across Paget, he wants to reconcile with her, but she rejects him and leaves. Jordan then sets his sights on Bryn and tries to score with her. She likes him as well, but as he tries to force himself on her, she leaves and runs into her brother in the crowd. She then informs him of what just happened. Cameron becomes enraged and confronts Jordan about it. After that, the two fight, and Cameron humiliates Jordan in front of everyone. Jordan then seeks his revenge on Cameron by tossing his precious camera into the swimming pool. Cameron runs after it, and then leaves the party with his camera. Paget runs after him and apologizes for Jordan's behavior. Cameron then asks Paget why she's suddenly so interested in him, to which she has no answer. That night, Paget is sitting in a room removing her makeup. She then begins a stream in which she discusses how she is always focusing on looks and attitude, but it is more important to see who you surround yourself with. Just then, she's interrupted by a text message from Jessica, who informs her that she saw the viral videos from Alden's party and that she'll be calling her shortly to talk about their sponsorship. The next day at school, Cameron finds himself at the center of attention due to the viral video of his fight with Jordan. Cameron is initially put off by the idea that this has made him a contender for the prom king, but he's excited when he realizes it would mean pissing off Jordan. Later at school, Paget unexpectedly encounters Jordan and Alden, who are now a couple. She realizes that Alden has been sabotaging her since the breakup, as she left the stream running to humiliate her. Alden also reveals that she and Quinn know that Paget is poor, but never said it out of pity. Later, while Paget and Quinn are talking, Cameron arrives and apologizes for his behavior last night, After school, he takes Paget to a dark room where he keeps his photographs, and the two kiss each other. Later, after learning that Paget kissed Cameron, Bryn advises him to ask her to prom. Cameron agrees and makes a grand gesture to invite Paget to prom, but just then Alden appears and reveals her bet with Paget to take a loser and transform him into the prom king. Hearing this, Cameron is devastated, and he believes she was only using him for a bet. Paget tries to explain, but Cameron is so enraged that he curses and rushes away. Days later, on the evening of the prom, Paget has a heartfelt conversation with her mom before heading to the event alone. She also talks with Bryn, who's quite upset with her. Despite the tension, Paget admits her feelings for Cameron and asks Bryn for help in getting him to the prom. Later, Bryn finds Cameron at work and shares how he's been returning to his true self while spending time with Paget, and that their mother wouldn't have wanted him to give up this chance at something real. At the prom, Paget and Jordan are crowned prom queen and king. In her speech, Paget opens up about her true self, admitting that her social media persona is fake. She even shows them their real house and the fact that her mother works as a nurse. She reveals that she's been pretending to be someone she's not, and decides to give up her crown. After this, Alden believes she's now prom queen, but the principal reveals that she lost by a lot, and that another student called Celeste is the actual new prom queen. Outside the prom, Paget receives a text from Cameron saying he loved her speech. He then rides up on a horse to see her. The two apologize to each other, and they share a heartfelt kiss. The scene then shifts to a few months later as Paget broadcasts from Portugal with Cameron. They're traveling around the world together this summer, as a part of Paget's punishment for losing the bet. They both get loser tattoos, and the movie comes to an end.